Danny and I talking about which expert to try and get in touch with to try to break this all down for us. The NBA salary cap situation and the apron world that we now live in. What is the future of the league? We are seeing guys like Devin Booker getting paid last night, now becoming the highest annual salary in the NBA, $72.5 million. Only over 2 years, though, and then, of course, the news breaking right before the start of Danny and Dusty today. Jalen Williams for the Thunder becoming the third player that they have signed to a massive deal in just the last week or so. I don't think we live in a world of the big three anymore, but I guess we can officially say that their big three are locked up. But once again, referring to something you said, Danny, on Tuesday, the gun is loaded now, and the clock has started. And yeah, they can stagger these guys out. Like, there's some questions as to when the Jalen Williams contract actually starts for me. Like, I see on the salary cap that he's still going to be for this 25-26 season under his rookie deal. So that'll be like an $8-9 million salary. That's, comparable to like Brock Purdy making the league minimum as the last pick in the draft for 4 years. But I'm wondering, did they pay Jalen before the end of his contract? So I've got confusion there, and really going forward, you wonder, Danny, if like cap manipulation is going to matter more than coaching. Like, love what the Thunder are doing, love what Mark Daigneault's doing, but like every trade now has to go through a lawyer, essentially. It's a weird world.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. The best teams in the league have the best CBA guys, and that changes over time because when you get a new CBA, there's new loopholes. There was one, that the Knicks did last year where they paid guys $1 over the minimum, so that they were tradable in order to make a transaction and a sign and trade work. And like,
wow.
And because again, every time you put legalese into CBAs,
they'll find a way.
Well, it's not just that. It's like the intention may be X, but the outcome ends up being Y, Z, and everything else beyond that because it's the unintended consequences. And I'll be blunt, with the new CBA, what owners wanted was a version of a hard cap, and they didn't want the Bombers, the Lakers, the crazy money owners of the NBA making the broke boys look broke. And they didn't want them spending out of control to just build whatever they wanted to build. And then you have like the staying powers of Los Angeles, all of the Texas teams, all of the Florida teams in New York that, LA and New York, yes, you have punitive taxes, but you also, it's LA and New York. In Texas and Florida, you have no income tax. If you look at a team like Toronto is going to be number one behind the eight ball because it's in another country. Like, that is a massive hurdle to overcome. It's different cultural, but financially, I think I'm talking to people in the league. The number that I've been told is it's roughly 54% tax rate.
54%. Sorry, continue. It's just like, wow.
That's a metric crap ton of money.
That is a F ton.
And you can talk about, states like Florida and Texas, they get it back on spending. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what players can do? The money that hits their pockets that isn't hit with an income tax, they can put into investments immediately. That money is working for them immediately. That makes, I remember talking to Dame about this. He told me that if he was going to Miami, during the whole trade saga, he would make something like $20 million more in cash in hand.
Yes.
That's $20 million that's working for you.
That is
as opposed to going into income tax brackets. Like, that is a massive, massive deal. Now, I don't think the league is ever going to put something into place. Like, let's say Toronto, you're paying this tax bracket, so in order to compensate for that, only X amount of percent counts towards the cap.
Yeah.
The one that I like is and I've the pushback to this is that, teams like Oklahoma City, teams like Orlando, who have just signed multiple young stars to massive deals, at some point in time, they're going to have to make decisions pretty quickly. That clock starts. Well, in essence, you're punishing those teams for drafting well. That doesn't seem right. But if you were to say, let's use the 35% Supermax that SGA got. Let's say instead of it counting for 35%, he gets every penny. Every penny stays the same.
Yeah.
But instead of it counting for 35%, it counts for 28%. Well, what that now does is it further incentivizes tanking.
Yeah.
That's the unintended consequence, because if it's better for you to draft because of the financial implications of getting a star, you say, okay, instead of paying SGA $75 million a year, he's still being paid that. But now I have 7% more to work with. And if your salary cap is $175 million, now you're talking about having an additional $18 million. That's more than the MLE. So now you start incentivizing these things and pulling these strings. Well, for a team like Portland, that's incredibly important because you don't have free agency, and you already are going to overvalue and over-index on draft and trade already. You're not a free agency destination. But then you're going to have teams like the Texas teams, the Florida teams, and Los Angeles and New York sit there and cry wolf over, well, what about us? And in the sense, they have a lot of power because they're in massive media centers. They have massive TV rights deals. They're in massive population centers. They're massive generators of revenue. And so they're going to have some pretty large voices at the table. And when you're getting 30, soon to be 32 billionaires in a room, everyone's going to fight over what's most important to them, and they're going to protect that. So they're going to leave it as vague as possible, put this artificial salary cap or hard cap over this, and say, you know what? Screw it. Because now we all have built-in justifications for getting rid of this guy or not paying this guy, and it puts the onus back on the players. Do you want the money or do you want to compete?
This sounds very similar to maybe what the NFL has as far as like a roadmap to success for a team that's already got high-paid players on the roster. Get a young quarterback, draft well, have that big piece on your roster for 3-4 years, be cheap, a la Brock Purdy, a la, Justin Herbert when he was on his rookie deal with the San Diego Chargers, or Los Angeles Chargers, excuse me. It seems to be the direction that's where the NBA is going, and I'm not sure that I like it because they've been throwing ideas out for the NFL the last couple of years, like, well, we just maybe need to make the quarterback not count against the salary cap. And it's like, guys, what are we doing? We're basically negotiating our way into loopholes and weird situations where, like, once again, I get it. These guys have to get paid, but like going forward, are mid-tier guys ever going to get money? Going forward, is an owner even going to want to be like a part of a team for more than a decade or two? We've seen, I would say, a pretty quick exodus of a few owners, especially in the NBA, and I'm wondering if
families are getting out of it. It's the Buss family in Los Angeles getting out of it and cashing out for an investment that was, I think, $69 million for $5 billion.
But is some of that because they see what's coming here and they don't want to deal with it?
Well, not that. They don't have the money.
Yeah. It's getting crazy.
Like I had a tweet just a little bit ago. Between those three players in SGA, Chet, and Jalen Williams, you're looking at roughly $825 million owed to them over the course of their contracts. Clay Bennett is worth $400 to $600 million. Now, he does, for those that are wondering, he does not own the majority share of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He is just the governor. And I believe the number that I was told was you have to own at least 18% of the team. I believe there was 5 partners who owned the Thunder. One of them passed away, and I believe it's down to 4, or it's 6 and now down to 5.
Okay.
So Bennett, and when he passed away, the other partners bought up his shares. So if it's 4, obviously they're probably all around owning a quarter of the team. If it's 5, they're all around 20. So I think that it's down to 4 now. But there is one of those individuals that does own a large percentage of the team, is worth $20+ billion. Yeah. So that's where the money is coming from.
Gotcha.
But that's part of this is like, well, you put the broke guy out there because then you can cry poor. Oklahoma City right now, they use the leverage of Clay Bennett stealing the Seattle Supersonics under the cover of darkness and away to Oklahoma City to have the city of Oklahoma City build a brand new arena for an arena that's not yet 20 years old.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City in this economy, in this era, is paying for a new arena, not ownership. Because they're afraid that he will do exactly what they did to them, to what he did to Seattle.
I mean, I basically see the power for the NBA elite being all at the top. It's the owners and it's the top tier of players, and that is it.
Yeah, and that's a problem. It's not.
I'm not saying like we need full-on parity like the NFL, but like this has got to be fixed, and there is no solution in sight.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's parity in the NFL either. I think the NFL I don't think it is. I think they're slotting because there's more diversity in roster.
I hear that.
Here's the thing in the NBA. SGA, you put him on basically any team, they're going to be competitive.
Yeah.
You put Luka on any team. You put Giannis on, like, even as bad as the East is, like the Bucks are picked to be 8th, I think, by the books in the Eastern Conference. It's like, if they finish 5th, it wouldn't shock me if Giannis goes for 34, 12, and 8. Like, that shouldn't surprise anybody. The impact of a singular player in the NBA is just that much more grandiose.
Oh, all right, we got to move on, but I don't like this. Like the Booker deal, the Williams deal, NBA team building to me, it's not necessarily about talent. It's a lot of what you're talking about, Danny, like those extra percentages, taxes, income tax
and it's
being
not just
applied.
that. On the player side of things, I've mentioned this before. I have talked to players over the last 2 years that they don't understand the CBA.
That's a problem.
Both their reps and their agents have done a poor job of really letting them know where things really are in the league.
What's the solution? I don't know.
Getting the right people in there to represent you, not just on the agency side, but on the player union side, which leads us to the NFL side of this, which is a complete S show.